My core team is like 70 plus women, right? And I tell them, make the money. Save the money. A million things can go wrong in your life. The whole world has flipped 180 degrees.
What are you working through with the money piece at the moment?
Luckily, my business partner is very sharp and I rely on him quite a bit now. And he joined me like about 3 years ago.
Yeah, you need that.
100%. And I misunderstood him for so long. And I think we just experienced a lot in our family in the past 5 years where we had to support our parents. And that was an eye opener. And that is when I learned it really the hard way, that money is actually really important.
Your level of relationship with the people you work with, the brand that you're building, and it feels like that extends. Where does that come from?
You know, there has to be a balance of the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, especially at the workplace. But as we grew, I realized retrospectively that I was very easy to manipulate.
Yeah, in what ways did you feel you were getting manipulated?
I think that all of us have a victim side to us. It is just how much fodder you really feed it. And I believe that even I was in the victim side of my feminine, my shadow side. So I kind of...
This week on the Desi Wisdom podcast, I sat down with Shubika Sharma, the founder and creative force behind the global fashion brand Papa Don't Preach. We talked about conscious entrepreneurship, how to mix masculine and feminine leadership, and Shubika opened up about the one thing she still wrestles with as a founder: money and having a highly profitable business. This episode is for you if you're building a brand and business that is more conscious or even looking at your own money blocks. Shubika is also deeply committed to Indian craftsmanship and asks us to question why, as Indians, we are not doing more to support our artists and karigars so we can become the brands that stand out in the world. You don't want to miss this episode. It's a highly connected personal conversation, and you're going to want to watch till the very end. So welcome, Shubika. I am so appreciative to have you here. Yeah. I'm excited to connect today. My first question is, I was actually watching some of the podcasts that you've been on as well. And what struck me is just your level of care and your level of, and I might be wrong about some of this, I don't think so, but your level of relationship with the people you work with, the brand that you're building, and it feels like that extends out to everyone. So what I was curious about is, where does that come from? Where does that come from inside of you?
Actually, I work really hard at kind of cutting that part of me, especially at work. You know, there has to be a balance of the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, especially at the workplace. And I've always led with the feminine.
Yeah.
And when we were much smaller, like a smaller team, it was kind of easier to do that. But as we grew, I realized retrospectively that I was very easy to manipulate. And also that there were big parts of me, like shadow sides of me, that were allowing other people's shadow sides to exist and get away with stuff.
Yeah.
So that is actually a part of me that I've had to really like be kind to, and to help her kind of grow up and allow the masculine to kind of also sit at the table with her. So that is something that I was just born with. And it's a part of me that I often hate a lot because I associate it with weakness. And I think a lot of work that I've done, even in therapy in the past 4 years, is to just also understand when I talk about femininity or when I talk about softness, the many levels of her that I could probably, I feel like I was operating from a teenage self of me, like a girl self of me for so long. And now I hope, and I'm feeling like I'm stepping into the grown-up woman, the wise woman, the witch side of us. And she's powerful as hell. And I get glimpses of her, and that really excites me. But now I know how to be nurturing without getting enmeshed with the people that I work with, how to still be caring, and how to like have lunch with them every day and joke about everything, myself including. But at the same time, know that at the base level, it's a transaction. They give me their hours, they put in the hard work, and I repay them in many ways.
Yeah.
So if you respect the nature of a relationship, then it gets really easy to be caring and nurturing.
Yeah.
But if you don't understand the basics of what this relationship is. And if you just pull all kinds of relationships into one bucket and say, oh, this is how I am, this is who I am, and you don't really respect actually the ways of the world, then it can be detrimental.
Yeah. In what ways did you feel you were getting manipulated? Like what were some of the ways that you were relating, and then how were you getting related back to?
I think that I was investing a lot of my emotions into the well-being of, not necessarily the well-being, but into like personal stories of the people who were working with me. And I think that all of us have a victim side to us. It is just how much fodder you really feed it. And I believe that even I was in the victim side of my feminine, my shadow side. So I kind of fed even their victim side. And when it came to, the business went through a big patch where it was like, it was just 6 months ago that we were in survival mode, that every day felt like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And I'm responsible for like 250 people with me. So that was a huge burden. And at that time, you need people who can support you in strength and not take advantage of you to say, oh, but this is how the culture was supposed to be, or this is what you had said it would be, or this is. And I think I understood very later on that culture of a company or an organization is something that is constantly evolving, much like even the nations we live in and the times that we live in. I was very stuck to a very idealistic version of what culture I had promised, and it almost became like a pride and an ego issue, which came at the cost of the success of the company and success of the business and health of the business. So that is why I say it just got really messy. Because when tough times, actually you're faced with tough times, I know that I was able to have a conversation with some of my really strong team members and say, look, we're going through this, what do you suggest we do? And they were more than willing to say, okay, we can probably not do my increment this year, or we can do it like after 3 months or 6 months. There were a lot of people who gave me strength in that sense, where they did not hold a gun to my head to say, no, but this is what you promised, and how could you do this, and how could you be like this, and you're not actually what you say you are. But there were a lot of people who actually were like that. They were like, we thought you were like a mother figure. And I mean, when it actually comes to running an enterprise, you realize that you're not responsible for like the one or the two or the three people who are really sitting there and speaking with you like this. You're actually responsible for so many, especially my karigars. Where they have like 9, 10, 11 members in their family who they're feeding. So for me to understand at that point that the health of the business comes first, before me saying that, no, but this is our culture and this is how we will work. And this is, if I've promised this, then this is how it's going to be. For you to be able to pivot, for you to be able to be flexible and have people who can support you in that time and not
make you feel bad.
Make you feel like shit when you're already really low. So that is where I feel like it was a lot of heartbreak.
I imagine.
And I'm sure the heartbreak was on both sides. I'm not saying that it was only on my side, but there was definitely a lot of heartbreak. And that's why now I know how to keep it clean and how to keep it simple and respectful.
I think it's hard. It's a hard position because as you grow, you have to grow. Literally that, right? You have to grow. And sometimes it's an interesting thing what you're saying around the feminine and the masculine, because, and I'm just talking this out with you actually at the moment, which is, we're, as women, we are very much told to not care as much, right? Like you shouldn't care as much as you care. And yet that is what we do. And that's one of our leadership qualities. And you're right. There's a fine line.
There's a very fine line.
There's definitely a fine line. But it's also like when the outside world sees that as like a weakness, we can sometimes also take that as a weakness, which isn't always true. Right? So what line do you feel like, what was that line for you? And the line can be different for everybody.
I think it was micro decisions that I made at that point, where, as I said, there were a lot of team members and my partner who kind of lent strength to what is your duty as the CEO or the owner of this business first. So first and I think that is why Hinduism kind of does it really well. Like, what is your dharma?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Swadharma is kind of decided from there. Like, what is my purpose in this organization?
Can you
Capitalistically,
explain Swadharma?
dharma is just a set of I may not be the most eloquent
No,
with
just
this, but dharma is how to do your duties in alignment with the divine will. Okay, and being very conscious that every act that you do, or the dharma that you do, or just every act that you do is in alignment. It is not in misalignment. And then from there arises swadharma, which is my dharma. So there could be like a dharma of a man in a marriage and a woman in a marriage, but specifically what is like my person. So what was my duty towards my organization? My duty was that the business should be healthy, that we should be at least able to pay off all the salaries on time, rent on time. So that is first my duty, right?
Yeah.
Everything else, which is that, are you feeling okay? Are you okay if the culture is changing? Are you okay if we change the timings? Are you okay if we become a lot more stricter about the leave policy? Are we okay? Where all these things I was letting go of, because I was like, okay, we're a family, right? Like, we're just, and I think that switch also from looking at a team as a family versus then looking at them as a team of people who've come together to do a certain task
Job.
and duty,
Yeah,
right? And I
yeah.
think that switch actually really helps. That I show up here, my duty is that I give them a really good place to work, exciting work to do, great projects to work on, and for that you get a compensation,
Yeah.
right? You get a salary on time,
Yeah.
and you're able to give them increments, you're able to give them some bonuses. So that is my primary duty. Now, if I'm not able to focus on that and I'm just busy kind of saying, oh, but are you okay? Like, are you feeling fine? And I'm so sorry this is happening. If I busy myself in the politics of it, and I feel politics is another word that I really understood. It's actually not necessarily a negative word, but it is polis, which means people. So wherever there is anything to do with people, there will always be politics, right? So just understanding the politics of working with so many people with different agendas, different temperaments, different goals, purposes, different swadharmas, dharmas. So then I was very clear that my dharma is to create a space and a platform for these people to come in and do their work with peace, with at ease,
Yeah.
and that I should be able to support them with whatever my duties as an employer are.
Yeah.
Beyond that is not really my duty to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
know?
Taking on too much.
And swadharma is like, my swa means mine, and dharma just means dharma.
Yeah.
So understanding that really helped. So doing Gita studies helped. Like if you understand about Arjun, right? And it was very interesting that my Gita studies started where when I was going through a similar thing where I was like, but I don't want to run a business, right? Like, it is so painful, like it is so hard, and this person is upset with me, or this person is sad, or I wish I could help this person, or I wish I could actually give this person a 100% increment because they deserve it, like they really do, but my hands are tied. So and then you kind of just sit back and see everything is so capitalistic in nature, and I'm so capitalistic hence because I'm heading this organization, right? Like,
Yeah.
how can everything be about money, and is money everything, and why is money important, and what do you mean by profit, and like, how can you let this person go just because now we don't have a profile for them, let's figure out somewhere else to give them. But so doing these things that were actually just messing it up, and which is very similar to Arjuna, where he's actually finally on the battlefield, and then he goes into self-doubt to say, but how can I kill my uncles and my cousins? And the whole Gita is actually Krishna narrating or explaining dharma and swadharma like a Kshatriya. If Arjuna was born as a Kshatriya, then it is his duty to be a Kshatriya. He cannot sit there and become a Brahmin and say, oh, but I just want to do prayers and my prayers will help it. So that is the swadharma that you're born to do.
Yeah.
Specifically you on this earth, everybody has a role to play, right? So his was to be a warrior.
Yeah.
And he had to be a warrior so that he could set the dharma right. There was adharma. Adharma means there was like, I don't know how to go into these heavy terminologies without oversimplifying them, but you have to do your swadharma for dharma to be in alignment with the divine will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So if he at that time didn't choose to be a Kshatriya and chose to not do his duty, then a lot of sequence of events and the dharma on earth would not have been balanced out. Right?
Yeah, the ripple effect of that. Yeah. When you're talking about it, what I can feel is like all this energy that was going out, like micromanaging maybe is maybe not the right word, but a word for it. And then suddenly you just like the energy came back.
Yeah.
Like
it's actually not having clarity on what do you want. What do you want? You're running a business, right?
Yeah.
What is the basics of running a business?
Yeah.
You really have to, and what chair are you sitting in? Like, what position are you sitting in? Are you a designer? Then your position is very different.
Yeah.
You should be making beautiful pieces or just, creating collections or if you are working in procurement or in production, but what chair am I sitting in?
Yeah.
Right? And the duties that come with it. There was muddling of that.
Mm-hmm.
There was over aspiration in terms of misaligned aspirations. And then also my relationship with money.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
It's
still
a big one.
Yeah, I don't think that's still okay.
Mm-hmm.
Working hard at it. But relationship with why do we think money is bad?
Yeah.
Or why do we think capitalism is really so bad?
Mm-hmm.
If you go into your Vedic Shastras and when we learn about Gita, like even when we were doing our wedding vows, right, there are four feras.
Yeah.
It's not actually saat fere. It's actually 4 feras. So I don't know, Bollywood has kind of got it wrong. So the 4 feras are very simple that together we help each other live out our dharma, which is all our actions should be aligned to divine will. Artha, which is to do with money, which is to do with resources, that together we will work so that we can pool in our resources and have a good, comfortable life and be able to help the world forward and have a better impact in society. So Artha is a very big part of it. And then you come to Kama, which is pleasure, that we will enjoy the pleasures of life together. We will also enjoy our relationship, like be it physical, be it mental, be it spiritual connections. We will enjoy the pleasures of life together. And the last is moksha, that we both will ensure that we are on the spiritual path together, and ultimately we hope that we get moksha.
Yeah.
So for me to actually not accept artha as a positive thing in life, to work towards accumulating artha in the right way by doing your swadharma, that concept was muddled. I was like, no, but I'm an artist. I'm doing it because, and my team is my family and we love to make these things. And, it's fine if I don't have an accountant in place. And like for the longest time, I didn't really have a good accounts team. I always invested in hiring designers or like procuring more fabrics or making the studio more beautiful and like doing all of that. But then I realized that actually money is like the bloodstream in a business, right? Like, how do I keep it going? How do I keep my family happy? My work family happy if I'm not able to pay them salaries?
Yeah.
Right?
And keep it all running.
Yeah, they're not going to turn around and say, oh, okay, we love you too. Don't give us our salary for the next 3 months. We love you. We love this. No, I mean, the
it's
reality
a different
is,
relationship.
Yeah, the reality is everybody is working to make money, to accumulate artha in the right way, in the best way possible, to make their lives more meaningful, more comfortable, more efficient, and be able to take care of their parents, their families, and then help out in society when you have excess.
Yeah.
So actually just understanding this, and Gita studies helped me understand this a lot better, clearer, with like clearer terminologies.
Yeah, I feel like what you're sharing feels grounded because of especially the Gita part, because it feels like the intention that you were probably carrying with caring for others is still there.
Yeah.
It's not gone.
100%.
It's just refined and maybe even more intentional.
It is 100% more intentional.
And And other people will look at that and can judge it so fast, right? Like just so fast.
Yeah.
Especially as you're changing, their projections onto you become louder,
Yeah.
right? And so I get that. Even in my own work, you know, when I went from going to work with one-on-one, right, with couples, with people, to working with thousands of people at one time, it's a completely different kind of relationship that I have to create, you know?
Absolutely.
And so it's hard though. It's so hard to let go of that sort of, and it's not letting go, but like that nurturing part of us, like
Yeah.
to hone it,
Yeah.
to wield it,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Into the right places.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, I think the money piece, like, I think it's so interesting as women owning businesses and not being raised so oriented around money,
Yeah.
right? Like, what are you working through with the money piece at the moment? And where does some of the roots of that come from?
Yeah. Luckily, my business partner is very sharp at
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I rely on him quite a bit now. And he joined me like about 3 years ago.
Yeah, you need that.
100%.
We all need that.
100%. And I misunderstood him for so long because I was like, okay, what do you mean? Like, you know, when we had to take really hard decisions in the business, and I would just be like, you just have no heart, right? So that's when I say micro decisions actually help me understand through my own personal experience that, oh, I mean, like, okay, that makes sense, you know, to prioritize your own swadharma or your own responsibilities towards everybody. And money for me, even now, whenever I talk about it, it's like a blank space in my head. Even now, I still can't say how much do I really spend in a month or how much do I really need to save and how much do I it just becomes blank and then some other exciting thought comes in. Even now, it gets instantly replaced.
Yeah.
And I think we just experienced a lot in our family in the past 5 years where we had to support our parents. And that was an eye opener for me, like a real eye opener. Because growing up, we were just like, dad takes care of everything, you know, and then there comes a point for a lot of us where we have to take care of them financially.
Yeah, you have to really grow up in that
And
moment.
you don't expect that ever, which is why now I have my core team is like 70 plus women, right? And I tell them, make the money, save the money. You know, I speak to such lovely girls where I allow quite a lot of them to take up freelance jobs also because Bombay is a really expensive city to live in. I remember I was speaking to this really lovely, talented girl. She's a graphic designer, Pranali. And I got her a job. But then when she finished it, she was being very protective of what she has created. She's like, I don't want to give this to the client. It's my IP, etc. And the client just directly told me that if she can't give me the IP, then I won't be able to give her repeat business, you know,
Yeah.
because I need that. I need to be able to change, make tweaks and all that through the years. So I got on a call with Pranali and I was like, Pranali, what is your goal for life? She said, I want to create work that people can really like enjoy and look up to. I said, no, that's very abstract. Like, what is your goal? You know, your three sisters, you have a mom to support. You want to make money, right? She said, I actually need to make a lot of money because I'm the oldest of the three and I need to take care of my sisters and they are both studying. And so I said, so make the money. So don't hold on to the IP right now. Decide that for the next 2 years, I'm going to make money. Then I'm going to save it and then I'm going to put it into creating the kind of work that I want to.
Yeah.
You know, these kind of conversations I don't think are had, especially with creative folks, and
Yeah.
especially if you're a girl. Like, especially if you're a girl. Why is it important for you to make money? Don't worry, dad is there. Don't worry, mom is there. Don't worry, you'll get married. Your husband should take care of all this, and husband will pay rent. Or, I mean, a million things can go wrong in your life.
Yeah.
And I have actually lived through that in the past 5 years.
Mm.
My whole world has flipped
Mm.
180 degrees. And that is when I learned it really the hard way that money is actually really important.
Yeah.
Today, I want to take care of my dad or my mom. I need the money. You know, today I want to gift my younger sister something because she's still probably, you know, figuring her life out. I need money.
Mm-hmm.
My parents may fall sick. We need money. Like there is no escaping that. So it has to get drilled into my brain. But even now, if you ask me, so what do you think PDP's valuation you want to take it to? I'm just like, I'll get back
I won't
to
ask you that.
No. I'll get back. Yeah, yeah. I'll just tell you. I'll just, I have to go back and really think hard and come back.
You're like, my brain doesn't work this way.
It doesn't. It's like a blank space. And I'm just like, something needs to come into it's like a white space,
I totally get
It's
it.
really hard.
Whenever like my husband will help me with all the finances of my business and stuff. And so whenever he's like asking me certain questions, I have the same reaction sometimes. I'm just like, what? Like it's like your literally like deer in headlights frozen.
Why is that?
Yeah. It's like, I don't even know. I don't know. I've thought about this actually. I've thought about this a little deeply. And I don't know if like when I was younger, if I like think back a little bit, and I don't know if this stirs up something for you, but like when I think back, like when I was studying math,
Don't talk about
I
that.
sucked at it, right? But what would happen with my dad would teach me math. And when he would teach me math, it was serious, right? And so if I missed a question, same. Exactly.
Same.
So I was like, I don't like to use the word traumatized because I think it's like overused.
Yeah.
But like, it was like even to this day, somebody asks me like a math problem. I'm like, like I think I'm going to get like, scolded or something is my reaction.
I mean, but I was always bad at maths. So
Same. Yeah.
I mean, I can't really blame him also to get
No, this is
exasperated
not
that it's like if I have to do fractions, I have to imagine a whole pizza and I have to remove the slices, place those two slices on top of the other slices and then figure it out.
I lost you already.
Yeah, and I'm very visual. So the thing is, I have an insane memory.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. But the only way I remember things is if there's a story attached to it.
Yeah.
Names of people, I won't remember.
Yeah.
But what they were wearing, how they were sitting, what they said, some dialogue they said, I will remember it completely of a complete stranger for years and years and years. So I think with math, the things I couldn't build any story around it.
Yeah.
Like it was just not sticky.
Yeah.
When I did economics, I was amazing at it.
Mm-hmm. I was too.
Yeah.
I did my minor in economics.
Okay, see, so it just made sense. And there was like...
There's patterns.
Yes. So that's it. And I'm
Some people see math as patterns, but I don't
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I see it as shapes that aren't really making sense.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So I just think that then that is really crucial for you to know, like, I suck at this, so I need to build a kick-ass team around this.
Yes.
And my folly was that I was too arrogant to say, okay, like, no, my art will make my business run and and etc.
It's a humble thing to just sit there and be like, no, I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
And I need support.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also caught myself where I was also fooling myself was that my ambitions were not matching my actions, right? Like, so if I'm saying I want to build Papa Don't Preach to be a brand that has like X number of stores, which requires like a huge capital investment.
Yeah.
Then am my actions really doing the work?
Yeah.
Like, am I then running my company the way it needs to for me to achieve that?
Yeah.
Am I building my team for us to be able to achieve that goal? If I'm saying I want to be a brand that is known globally, then why am I shitting on money? Like, why am I not looking at the importance of the fact that the business needs to make an X amount of money, save X amount of money year on year for it to be able to fulfill these roles? Otherwise, don't have the ambitions, right? Like, it is so simple as calling your own bullshit out.
Yeah, definitely.
So that took me a lot of time.
Yeah. I know. Well, it's so aware of you to even see some of these things, I feel like. There's so many business owners that do very little reflection.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. I've worked with them. So they do like very little reflection. And so just to even start to see where your flaws are, what your intentions are, and keep aligning, like you were saying, like, I think that's amazing.
Right.
Yeah. It's hard to catch yourself in that, it's like so hard. And even with the money piece, like I actually had an opposite experience in a way where I didn't have to, but I chose to take like a break. And it was the first time in my life that I was letting my husband take care of me. Hard, very hard.
Yeah.
Because I was so used to having my own everything.
Yeah.
And so I had like a bit of this, life gave me that experience, you know?
And how did you find value in yourself then at that point? Or did
Right.
you question it?
That was the big question,
Yeah.
is like, what is my value then?
Yeah.
You know, and also this question of, even in relationship, like my money, your money,
Yeah.
right? And turning it into our money.
Yes.
For me.
Yes.
Versus saying my money, your money, right? Because
very hard.
Everything that I've contributed over 18 years is the reason why he's also made a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's not just his money,
Yeah.
his efforts,
Yeah.
but not just his money, you know? And to take that in was
It's very hard, I can imagine.
so hard.
Yeah.
So
Because
hard.
I think growing up, especially in our time, right, millennials, we were really, as women, we were working hard to prove to the world that
we're
I've
independent.
got this,
Yeah.
you know, and just the generation before us was fine to look at it as our money. Like our mums, they were very, very cognizant of the fact that I'm taking care of the house, hence he's able to go out and work. So
Yeah.
it becomes our money.
Yeah.
But I think in our generation, it was like, I don't need you and I don't need your money.
Yeah.
And that's when I started hearing a lot of your and mine. And I think it's even more so in the Gen Z, apart from that big group of women who's wanting to go back to the trad wife.
Yeah, seriously. That whole thing, yeah.
Right? Like they're very comfortable with it. Like that's a
They
separate
just
part of
like revel in it.
that's a very different part of the internet. But where we grew up, which is why we worked as hard as we did, because we had something to prove. And we don't know who we were proving it to without understanding math, but
It's so true.
but we had to prove it.
Yeah.
And so for me also, it is incredibly hard right now. But that's okay, you pay for it. Like, you know, like simple things.
Yeah.
And you notice it even in the millennial men, that they also find it really hard to say our money.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's something that they really need to.
Oh no, me and my husband had a thing with it.
Yeah?
You know? Yeah. I mean, I wish I could say like, oh yeah, he was just like our
Yeah,
money.
No.
But money is so activated for
It is.
everybody, you know?
Even more so in like in the current times.
Yeah.
It's getting very, very potent
Yeah.
and powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are feeding into that a lot.
And so we had to go through a process even together
Yeah.
for him to see it differently. Because he would say things like, oh, well, like if you had handled your money and your business better,
Exactly. Oh my
then
God.
blah, 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 right? And I was just like, it hits you right in the
I know,
heart.
it does.
Ugh.
It
And
really
then
does.
I had to go through a process where I was just like, okay, first of all, I'm an entrepreneur and he hasn't ever started his own thing, okay, in my situation, right? So I had to just make it also reality. He's not wrong in some ways. I have to own that also.
Yeah.
He's not wrong in some ways. And also the reality of it is I took a lot of risks. And that comes with being an entrepreneur as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And you have to also understand that on some level too, right? So, but yeah, it's such a
It's a very tricky topic.
It's a very tricky topic. And it'll keep coming back up.
Yeah, it
Because
does.
scarcity comes up
Yeah.
and then suddenly all of it comes up again.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And how did you deal with that time where you were feeling so scarce? You know, how did you manage yourself through that
I think
period
I
of time?
fed into my scarcity a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't think I was in the best frame of mind. But I think that it's a dichotomy in me. I feel like I'm a very split person. There is a part in me that is so sure that everything is going to work out.
Yeah.
And I
have that too, by the way.
yeah. It's one of those things from the white space. It comes out from there. Slightly delulu. But
I'm like, it'll just, it's
it
money
will.
flows.
It
Money just flows.
yeah. It'll come.
But you know, I not to interrupt your thought, but Barbara Cochran or Cochran, I always get her last name wrong. Do you know who she is? She's like a real estate mogul in the US. She's like on the Shark Tank. And
Okay.
what she talks about, I really resonated with this. She says that she's always spent. She's always spent. Even in a moment where she was, one of her companies was going bankrupt, she was upset, obviously, about it. And she started to conserve, right? Conserve, conserve, conserve. And she called her mom, and her mom said, what you've always done is spend. So spend in a way that's going to make you feel expansive.
Yes.
And then see what happens in that space. So she did that. And literally, I'm getting like some kernel of the story. I don't have the whole story, but this is the kernel of the story where she said she did that, and the next idea to save that company came through because she was in this constricted space, she wasn't able to see anything.
Yeah.
And so it opened that up. But yeah, I just wanted to share that.
No, I agree with that. And it's my mom who's helped me.
Yeah.
Same, exactly the same thing. She said and they went through really challenging times, like I said, 5 years.
Yeah.
She said, I've never felt poor a day of my life. Like I've always had money. No matter what the situation was, I've just always had money. And like that should be your relationship with money. And it's not that she spends a lot, right? Like if I take her shopping, she'll look for the most value for money. It's very Indian like that in her shopping and what she picks up. She's not a spendthrift at all. But if it comes to like helping people out or like doing some work in the ashram and building our ashram or, helping people set up their businesses, she says, I've never had a dearth of money. And she's like, why do you keep talking like this? Like she gets really annoyed with me when I'm like, nahi mummy, we can't afford it right now. She gets really annoyed. She's like, I don't know, such thoughts don't even occur. And she's exactly like, she said, you have to spend. It's energy. It's Lakshmi. She likes to keep moving. She doesn't like to sit inside a locker somewhere.
Yeah.
She likes to, go from home to home to home.
She's on a
and come
lotus.
back. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that also, like they also had to learn. But other part of me, it has such a deep belief in grace. I have seen grace throughout every single thing that I have gone through. And it is like this beautiful, I don't know, I wish I could draw it or color it, but it really feels like it's a float and it's like a bubble at the same time, and it's always there. And I'm somebody who gets scared very easily about, oh my God, like so much can go wrong. But there's also a part of me that's like, of course it's not going to go wrong. And I think grace has been such a, just not that people don't have grace, everybody has grace in their life. But the fact that I can see it or I can experience it, or I am tuned to not brush it off as something else, I feel very, very, very lucky. I feel very, very special that I have the eyes to see it and recognize it and experience it.
I hope you love this episode of Desi Wisdom. Please leave a comment below telling me if you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you would have wanted more of. It really helps me refine this podcast to give you exactly what you want. I will be reading every comment and responding. Tell me a story of a moment of grace.
Oh my God, it's everywhere. I just don't know how to say it. Like,
just so I have a visual with it.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, I know. But like, what's a
all the time
story?
There isn't a story. It's just how my life is. Okay. It's probably you think of somebody and they call you. You're in some kind of a trouble. Somebody will call you. And I think, okay, if I have to really give you an example, when I started off the brand, and I used to have probably like 200 rupees or something left in my account, and I would have every Saturday we have to pay. It's called kharchi, but basically all the karigars, how they prefer it, they don't want to get their salaries at one go. They want you to split it in 4 Saturdays. Because A, they feel like they tend to spend it away, and B, they also pay their rent to their landlords weekly.
Yeah.
So every Saturday I would have to have enough money to pay my karigars. And I remember calling up my friend and I'd be like, I just only have 200 in my account, and like, how do I do it? And it's literally Friday. And then out of nowhere, there would just be a client who'd come in and just say, okay, right now you just keep this 20,000 as an advance, and I'll come back and I'll figure out the outfit. So it's always, the money has just always reached me at the right time.
Yeah.
There's never been a time in the past 12, 15 years where I've not had the money to pay my salaries on time.
Yeah.
It has
That's
just
grace.
always happened, no matter what has happened. Because for me, that is priority. Like, anything could be happening in my business. I'm okay to shut it down, but there is no chance that I will not pay my salaries first
Yeah.
to my team,
Yeah.
especially to my karigars.
Yeah.
So that has always happened, no matter what situation we were going through. And I'm lucky, even my business partner is something who prioritizes that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so grace and these very many things, like when I was going through my separation, and there was a point where it was really hard, where I was not able to communicate with my ex partner, and I was finding it challenging to convince him. Um, and I went to my Guruji and I said, I'm not able to get through. And he said, I know it is really hard for him right now because he actually really, really cherishes you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just closed his eyes and then he said, okay, anyway, how is your work? Don't worry, everything will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back and I had a call with my ex, and it was a complete different conversation.
Mm. Did something change inside of you?
I don't know.
Yeah. Grace.
It is grace,
Mm-hmm.
and it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're really lucky, you'll be able to register it.
Yeah.
But there are many people who don't want to register it
No.
and call it all sorts of things.
Yeah. It's hard to recognize it as that because you want to either want to take credit for, like, even I just asked you, like, did you change? Like either you want to take credit for something or blame somebody for something, but to just put it on grace.
Yeah, I've always been protected.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I mean, I've felt that so many times in my life too. And that's why sometimes the scarcity thing, because we are daily human beings, but and even when my husband would say things like, oh, well, you could have made more, you could have done this, right? Like it hits you. And then, it does feel like a split personality.
It is a split personality. It is so insane. So that is your, and I always debated with my therapist, and I'd be like, and luckily she's very spiritual, so it helps to have those conversations. But I was like, I know this.
Yeah.
Inside me, I know the truth of why this is happening, why that person is behaving this way, why that person is saying that, why my business is I know it. There is so much clarity in me where I know why things are happening at all points in time. But my mind is anxious and I'm not able to sleep and I'm falling sick and I'm not able to grapple with the fact that I know inherently to be very crystal clear.
Yeah.
So she explained it. She said, you are a spirit, but you are on planet Earth. And this realm, Earth, it's a hard realm. It's a very, very, I think I would say it's ninth grade. Ninth grade was toughest for me. So it's like ninth grade school, right?
Yeah.
It's really, really hard. And you've taken a human form. So as a human, you have your mind and you have your Maya, so to say, at play, and the Leelas are at play, and you have a certain role to play in the Leelas. So even though your wise self is very aware, when you sit and you can sit as witness and watch it, I can so many times just watch myself.
Yeah.
But the other part of me is also aware that I'm actually driving myself insane with this anxiety for something that may absolutely not happen. And my anger towards myself at that point to be like, why are you behaving this way when you know the truth?
Yes.
And it is really a split, your worldly self and your spirit and your spiritual self.
100%.
And that is called yoga, the union, and that yoga it takes a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, it's sadhana.
Yeah.
Right? To actually merge the two, it requires sadhana.
That merger, I'm just waiting for it. But yeah, the sadhana is flaky right now.
Yeah, it's flaky. And then especially when you become a mom, it gets even flakier.
So I have no excuse right now. But
no, it's just flaky no matter what. Yeah. So I'm going to switch the topic a little bit, but I know you just got married. And one of the things that I read that you both chose to do is do a kirtan as your reception. Did I read that right?
No, for the Sangeet.
Okay,
the
for your
musical
Sangeet,
light.
yeah. Which just to me shows how spiritual you are as a couple. So what do you see as, like, what is your spirituality? What do you see that as? What is that? And what are the roots of it? Meaning in your family, where did it come from?
Yeah, I was actually born into a very spiritual home. My mom is a spiritual speaker. She travels around the world, no matter how her health is or what she's going through.
What does she talk about?
So we are connected to the path of Sant Mat.
Uh-huh.
Our Guruji is Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj. And Sant Mat is from Sant Kabir, almost the Sufism mix of that. But in current time and age, science of spirituality, which is the mission, it talks about positive mysticism, which is it is very easy to leave the world and go and sit in the Himalayas and meditate and feel very spiritual. But it is actually the art of living is about being present, doing your work, running a capitalistic business, getting married, having kids, going through the motions of sickness, happiness, health, joy, and doing a sadhana in the midst of that. So that is called life. So that is what we are taught and what we practice. It's very, very simple. It is only about meditating um, and to do
Is it a
seva.
specific kind of meditation?
It is so there are two parts to meditation, which is one is Simran or the transcendental meditation, the way they call it, where you do the mantra jap.
Yeah.
And the other is dhyan, where you sit and just listen and switch off.
Yeah.
And you connect. So there are both sides to it. So there is you have to get a namdan from your guru, which we can't really share openly. It is only basically you sign up to take the namdan if the guru sees you fit enough and you pass through certain qualifications, which is very simple, that eat vegetarian and no alcohol, no cigarettes and all that, to have a very refined mind and body, so that it can, when it does sadhana, there are no interruptions. It's not from a moralistic point of view, but a very physiological almost perspective.
Yeah.
And along with that, doing seva.
Do you follow?
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise you don't really take namdan. You don't get namdan.
You don't get it. Okay,
Yeah, you
right.
don't
It's the
get it.
vows.
Yeah, it's the vows.
Yeah, I got you.
And so then you can sit, you can actually do the namdan. You can do the nam jap, the mantra repetition. That is Guru Dakshina, that you've got straight from the Guru. There are so many beautiful mantras in our Vedic Shastras, that you can actually take on and just sit and repeat continuously, and that is potent enough. But they say to get it from the Guru has the power of the Guru attached to it, because they've sat with that mantra and they've put their energy and meditated on it for so long that they're passing it on to you, a part of that. So it kind of expedites your journey slightly. Mine hasn't happened yet, but I'm hoping that happens. So you sit and you can do Simran, the repetition of the mantra, because it helps you just bring your mind under control, because you give it something to do.
Yeah.
But even when you're doing that, you realize your mind is actually also simultaneously thinking something else. So you permit those thoughts to flow. They ask us to visualize, like, okay, see a chest of drawers, open your drawer, and then whatever thought is coming, keep putting it in the drawer and say, I'll come back to you. Don't ever try to tell it, go away. Like, why are you?
Stronger.
Yeah, it's insane the kind of thoughts that come to your mind when you're meditating. So that is one way. And the eventual goal is to just be sitting silently and connecting to when you do dhyan.
Yeah.
Very far away from me right now. I go straight into Yoga Nidra. So this is it. And I'm very lucky that I met Harshil, who's also on a similar journey of exploration. He actually didn't really grow up in a spiritual family. It's a very, very loving, very, they're all realists,
Yeah.
very naturally detached.
I know what you mean.
So they would actually be very, very spiritual if we can actually assign that word.
Yeah.
But they don't like to assign any terminology or any word to how they exist. So his journey has been his own explorations. He also has started an app. It's called Level Supermind, but it's going to be renamed to Swaha.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, which has like all the different schools of meditation, all the gurus. They've actually come on the app and they've given their mantras and talks on it, so you can make the most of. So his journey took him in a very different direction, but together, both of us, we feel extremely nourished when we go to places of like we went to Rishikesh and went to this beautiful ashram of Ma Vanmali there, very off the grid.
Yeah.
And then we went to Tiruvannamalai and got beautiful darshan at Arunachaleshwar. And then we went to Auroville and spent time there. And so it's really nice to have somebody who has the same curiosity as you and a belief in something higher. And
It
he's
up
a
levels you.
yeah, and he has started his journey much after me, but he's a lot more sincere with his sadhana and he never misses it. And he do it on a flight or in a car or wherever he is. But I'm like, I need my space and silence, and my room has to look a certain way, and I need to sit here. And so I'm very much like that. But he's doing it. I mean, he's walking the talk.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have somebody like that.
Yeah.
Without him actually looking at me saying, "Oh, you call yourself spiritual, but you're not doing a sadhana." He just does it. That gives me a kick in the butt
Definitely.
to do it.
I have a similar thing. I grew up Jain.
No.
So I grew up with a lot of Jain Munis. They were Munis that had to renounce their monkhood to come to the States, obviously. And so when I met my husband, he's Hindu, but he didn't really grow up religious either.
Right.
And now he will do, like, just actually the other day we went to a Simandra Swami's derasar, and downstairs is Srimad Rajchandra.
Okay.
And it looks very, like, the way that they did it, it looks very real, like almost like a wax. I'm going to call it Pratima. And he looked at it and he started crying, you know? And when we went to Samvat Sikar, which is in Bihar, he touched Parshvanath Bhagwan's pagla and got like a jolt. Like he's having these experiences, you know, that are more profound in so many ways than even some of mine, you know? And it's so beautiful to like witness, but also be reminded of our own like connection. Because sometimes it's easy to, I don't know if you do this, but like I'll judge him sometimes.
Oh, 100%. I know more.
Yeah. I've been doing this longer. Yeah. I'm so, like I've meditated so much in the past.
Yeah. I get it. Absolutely.
So, but it's humbling in those moments because I'm just like, oh, sometimes you're pure with it when you haven't had so much of it.
Absolutely. You're a clean slate. So everything is just, it's clean.
Yeah.
And it's not biased.
Yeah. Because he'll even say the Nokar mantra and he'll cry. Oh. I mean, I've said Nokar mantra, you know, now I'm like immune to it on some level.
Immune,
you know?
we get immune to it.
Yeah. So it's nice to have that kind of partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they say when you're saying the mantra, you have to see the words because the mind repeats, but the soul has to register, right? So what we're doing it for me, my mantra goes on 24/7, no matter what I'm doing. I could just be doing something really random, but it's just going on continuously. So I can feel really chuffed about the fact that, oh, for me, it's going on continuously. But when you meditate...
How do you do that? What do you mean?
It's just going on. No, in my head. I'm not able to visualize it. That's why I'm saying the mind is just repeating because probably it's habituated.
Yeah. Okay.
But for the soul to really get nourished by it, it's almost like saying, you know, you're putting an iron or like some kind of an ointment, but your blood actually needs to absorb the iron. So you actually need to, you know, ingest it in a certain way.
It has to come down.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to visualize it, like every word of the mantra. And that is when you really can soak it in. So that's what I'm going to try now.
Yeah.
But your question was actually about the wedding.
Well, does it? It's fine.
Yeah. So which is why when we were planning the wedding, for us, we already felt like we were married quite a few times. Like we had a beautiful experience in Rishikesh, a beautiful one in Tiruvannamalai. And we felt like, okay, we are married. But we decided that our parents weren't a part of those moments when we experienced that. So it's important that we do. And there's also a certain kind of a joy that comes where everybody's really happy and blessing you.
Yeah.
But we were both so busy, like it was insane. I think he was working right till the last day. He bought his outfits 2 days before the wedding. And like I was also planning, we planned the wedding in like 10 days, including my outfits, my family's outfits and everything. And I was just like, why do we have to do it? Why do we have to get married? We're already married and all of that.
It felt like Distraction.
It just felt like a to-do.
Okay.
But we both were very clear about one thing, was that it had to be really intimate and it had to be sattvic and very spiritual. Like the experience had to be, we didn't want a Sangeet. We really enjoy going for kirtan together.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful singer. He's starting his own band, like a Sufi Sant Kabir inspired band, which is interesting that he's also now exploring the Sant Mat path almost. And he's written his own music. It's called Saburi. I'm waiting for it to launch soon. Yeah, so we knew we wanted kirtan, and we know how people kind of look at it. Even our close like family and friends were like, "What are you doing?" You're like, how can you do that on a wedding? How can you call all of us and do that? And are you saying, like, a lot, my side is Punjabi, and they're like, there's not going to be any dancing. Like, what do you mean? And but we were very clear. Like, that was so clear. There was no debate around it. That's why we wanted to do it in Rishikesh by Ganga Ma. For me, it was very clear I wanted Ganga Ma there.
Yeah.
But because all my relatives are 75 plus, all the elders, we didn't find a property that could, everything was hilly. And so finally we landed up here. It happened at the lakeside. The venue kept changing because the rains kept coming. So indoor, outdoor. But at least the Sangeet was supposed to be outdoors, but it rained, so we had to move it indoors. So you see the decor and everything is really not like a Papa Don't Preach. You think it'll be like a maximalist carnival. But it was actually just all black because that's the only fabric my decorator could find on short notice to just cover up the whole place because it was not a very great banquet.
Yeah.
But once the kirtan started and everybody was singing and chanting and dancing to it, and I think that, and he also then sang 5 songs. The energy was, I can't describe it. And then the next morning was supposed to be Haldi, but because it was going to rain at night, we shifted the Feras to morning. So when we did Feras, Om Dhumatkar, who is a friend, a guide almost, he led our Gita studies for us. He was the Pandit for our wedding. He first led the whole, everybody present there into a meditation, and then we started our Feras. And it ended with that night, all of us doing like a painting activity. Everybody sat. So we say it started with everybody chanting together. It got sealed with everybody meditating together. And then it ended with everybody painting together. So it just really felt very special.
Yeah.
Not at all planned the way weddings are planned. But that's what I talk about when I say grace. To be in that mandap, to experience the Feras, the way, what we experienced that day, we cannot describe it. And what everybody sitting there experienced, we won't be able to describe. And that is grace. Like, it was so palpable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely grace, but you created the environment for it also.
We actually didn't.
Well, meaning like your presence, what you desired,
Maybe.
the people that you brought into the space.
Yeah, the people we brought into the space was special.
I'm not putting it all, I'm not giving you all the credit. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you some.
Okay, I'll take it.
But I found it so beautiful when I read like that you did kirtan. I didn't know if it was a reception or Sangeet, but I was just like, oh, I wish I had done that. Like that's the thought I had, because it's so special.
It is.
To, for me, when I got married, a lot of people will say this now. They'll be like, how many people were at your wedding? I was like, 600 people.
Wow.
600 people.
Where did you get married?
In the US.
600 people in the US?
I married a Patel.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. 600 people, right?
Yeah.
And so they're like, what? Why would you have 600 people at your wedding?
Yeah.
You don't even know all of them. And I said, for me, like, it's about community. It's about like the village.
Yeah.
And in growing up in the US, you didn't have a lot of that, but that's what was instilled in me. And I created this moment where I was like, this has to happen, where we had like I love the Shehnai. So we had a Shehnai and it was live music during the wedding. So I had the priest make sure that everybody stood up at a point and silence, give us their blessings, like actively, intentionally provide their blessings and put their hand out. And so when I'm going to tear up even talking about it, but when I looked out and saw that, I was just like 600 people blessing us.
Wow.
Like that's
That is
special.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so special. And I think like we've lost sometimes some of that, right? But I feel like you created that.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
And that's
I
what's
think
so
every
special.
single person present there, and when we meditated right before the commencement of the Feras, it was to, he said, think of a happy memory with the couple or either one of them that you've had, that you've shared, and then really sink into that and just send blessings to them. So I think that it was every single person did that for us.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. Like the beauty of humans is there's so much potential.
Yeah.
And, and we still witness so much cruelty.
Yeah.
Even in ourselves, even in our own thoughts, we do. But the beauty of humans is it's expansive actually if it touches you.
Yeah.
It can be incredible.
True.
Yeah.
It's so true. I know. And then the two things do need to go together. Like the darkness has to go with all of this, right? Like
I mean, it doesn't have to, but that's how it is. Like, why does it need to really, Yeah.
Well, the coach part of me, like, is, and then the spiritual part of me is just like, I've studied Osho too. And, he says that every emotion is on a spectrum. Right? Like you can't experience high levels of bliss and love and joy if you haven't also experienced deep levels of hate. Yeah. Despise. It's like on a spectrum. Yeah. And I believe that on some level, because if you're just in the middle, you're just actually not feeling very much.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So your spiritual connections, how has that influenced you? Like when you're coming out with a line or, a season, how does that influence your creativity? Would you say it influences it? I'm sure it does.
I think that it influences every single thing.
Yeah.
But not all the time. You don't always feel connected to the flow state. It happens very rarely. But when it happens, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does happen. Rarely.
Yeah.
Now. It used to happen a lot more when I was younger.
Yeah.
Mind is a lot more busier now in being more practical.
Yeah. I get that. And I know that when you were speaking about the vows that you took, I feel like even when I don't drink either, and I used to though, but even do you see the subtleties? I'm not saying that you're dabbling in it or anything, but I see the subtleties of like, if you veer off a little bit, you can feel the difference of that.
Absolutely.
That in so many ways.
Yeah. I think when you talk about, you don't really have to go have alcohol for you to feel like you veered off. It could also be just the state of your mind.
Yep.
It could be that you're not able to sleep because your mind is just going through all these places that you really don't want it to go to. And then you will notice that has a domino effect to how your day goes, how you interact with people, and you're not able to work out, you're not able to do your meditation, you're just not able to do anything. And then you pull yourself back on track. And I think that is an ongoing thing, the off track and on track and off track. But 100%, if the kind of content that I've consumed is really not the nicest, it stays with you for so long.
Mm-hmm.
For so long. The kind of books that you read, like right now, I've kind of regressed and I've gone back to reading. So my school friends actually gave me Babysitter's Club. I don't know if you know the series.
I read that one.
So we used to read them obsessively when we were in school. So they gave me just as like a token at my wedding,
Yeah.
I've been reading all of them.
I love that.
I love it, and I finished it in like 1-2 hours, and I've really regressed there. But then my brain...
Do you like Stacy?
I love Stacy. I actually enjoy both Dawn and Stacy.
Okay. Yes.
But yeah, Stacy is my favorite. Her books are my favorite for sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so and you see the impact it has, like something so mundane also. It's not really bad. It's just not worth you putting your time and energy into at this point. Versus when I'm reading any kind of a book, be it spiritual or a self-help, it's like your brain just rewires instantly. Like it'll think like that, it'll talk, my language will change, the way I'm like, speaking to my team changes. And right now, because I'm in my Babysitter's Club mode, I'm a lot more relaxed because I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. You don't want to do, it's like, it is so direct.
You're like adjusting to the vibe.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, it's December, So yeah, it really impacts you. So going off track, it necessarily does not have to do with any kind of a bad habit, or it could just be you losing awareness and alertness of what your purpose is. And purpose also very specifically your swadharma,
Yeah.
which is when you have to work in alignment with the divine, you have to also invest time and energy in connecting with the divine,
Mm-hmm.
which has to do with your sadhana and your prayer. And then I feel very, very undernourished. And then I tell Harshit we need to go either to some temple, some place, or like, and I think Sangha is so important.
Mm-hmm.
What I learned was like, how do you keep yourself in check? They are the three S's. It's Sangha, scriptures, and your guru,
Mm.
Sadguru.
Yeah.
So it's the company that you keep. So you can meet a lot of wonderful friends of yours who are also on the path. And I am so blessed with my friends. I cannot tell you. I have very few. I
Mm.
literally have like 2, 3 in my life, but they're all on the same paths.
Yeah.
Their journeys are very different,
Yeah.
but they help me get right back on track. Even my therapist who I'll meet, I'm so lucky that I'm meeting almost guides in the form of friends. So Sangha plays that role. Scriptures, where you don't know if something is wrong or right or no, you can go back to scriptures, and you don't really need to read the heavy scriptures, but there are so many stories that have come out of it that you can always just lean into,
Yeah.
feel okay about your life, or understand the leelas of life. And then if the Shastras say it is right or wrong, I mean, I don't know if you know about Vedic Shastras or even like
I know some.
Hinduism, to put it more as a blanket word,
Yeah.
but there is no such thing as sin
Yeah.
in Hinduism. There
Yeah.
is no wrong. There is only your desires, that vasanas, or the tendencies that you're kind of born with, that you tend to react and interact with the world with those tendencies. Which is why when my wise self looks at my world self, I can see that I shouldn't be getting anxious, scared, fearful. Um, but I still am, because those are the tendencies I was born with from my many lifetimes
Yeah.
and lifetimes, right? Which I
Yeah.
have to fight and overcome,
Yeah.
because that is also falls under Maya. It's very interesting, Maya. I don't know if you know. Maya is basically the illusions
Yes.
that are created for us to be able to work out our karma.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it very simplistically.
It's the same thing in Jainism as well.
Yeah. So in the
Mon,
sense,
Maya, Lob,
right.
Ragdvesh.
Right. So in Maya, there are actually 8 elements. So there is ether, earth, our 5 senses,
Mm-hmm.
and also your mind and your ego.
Mm.
That also comes into it. And these are not tangible things, but they're there. So all these are elements, even your mind and your ego, your intellect basically, they are also creating the illusions,
Yeah.
right? So when you talk about being aware, you have to be aware at that level that you need to overcome this vasana, overcome this tendency that you're just falling into. I'm just easily fearful, I'm easily anxious. The situation actually may be very easy to overcome, but I'm falling prey to this.
Yeah.
And Maya in itself is not bad, but it's like an exam paper. I mean, you can't say an exam paper is bad. Like,
No.
you may be very stressed filling it out and trying to pass it, and you may keep failing again and again. But you can't.
You can hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't say that that is what is keeping me behind, and
Yeah.
it is the paper's fault, and not the fact that I don't have the tools or the toolkit or the answers to solve it and progress. I don't know where that the question was at all.
That's okay.
What was I trying to say? I have no idea.
You were trying to say something about illusion. But you were connecting something. You were connecting something back to.
Yeah, I have ADHD, so I lose
That's
track
okay.
of like what.
I have mom brain, so it's just.
Okay,
It's okay.
anyway.
Just you
Yeah.
can finish the thought though. The illusion.
Yeah, so I'm like, so even your intellect and even what you think is your own,
Yeah.
my mind, my brain, is also actually not yours, because it is functioning under certain tendencies.
Yeah.
Right?
And you've cultivated this is where you're going. And you've cultivated this way of I think this is where you're going. cultivated this way of observing yourself.
Right. Okay. So how you keep yourself in check is Sangha, is Shastra, and is Guru.
Yeah.
That these are the three checkpoints you can have in life. Like, am I making this up? Is this really real? I'm at a crossroad.
Yeah.
What path should I take? A true guru will never tell you, take this path. Like, I've never had these conversations with my guru.
Yeah.
It is always a conversation, like a father talking to a child to say, okay, so what do you think? I feel like this could be it, but I could be wrong. Like, that is how a guru
It's
really,
soft.
that's the role a guru really plays in your life. And it's just so wonderful and it's a blessing. So, yeah, these three checks. And I'm lucky that in this lifetime, I've actually been born in the midst of a group of people that are really helping me on my journey. And I hope I can do my bit and do my sadhana and not lose this opportunity.
Yeah. I know we can get so hard on ourselves about the sadhana, though, right?
Yeah, and that's also stupid.
I know. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
simulation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you often go to your guru for
Yeah, if I'm lucky.
life moments, work moments?
I mean, those chances are rare
Yeah.
because Maharaji travels across the globe. He's also 80 now.
Yeah.
Um,
You don't have special access.
yeah. No, we do have special access, but so do many people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they are always a part of the big moments, be it a wedding, blessing a wedding, or like, and I think it's incredible that they meet us in a crowd of, he meets us in a crowd of 20,000 people who are gathered there, and he'll remember you by name, not because I'm special, but I've seen him do that with everybody and what they're going through, and they'll remember, okay, how was this? And you were doing that. And I think that's incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is. What would you say? Because there's so many people that, I talk about my gurus too, and they'll just be like, well, why would you
Go to a man.
Yeah. Why would you go to a man? Why would you have somebody that is like an authority of some sort
Yeah.
over you?
Yeah.
They're human too. Like I get all of that.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten that before?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you say to that?
People are just so scared of submitting to another man or a woman. And I think it's very easy to dismiss it as like, they're just, it's brainwashing and it's a cult and all of that. It's very easy for
Very
people
easy.
to dismiss it off like that because it's very hard for you to actually put trust in something that you may not understand or you may not have the capability.
Or to admit that you don't know.
Yeah.
And somebody has more gyan than you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's if you have to explain it simply how I say it, you want to be a doctor today, you'll want to go and find the right teacher who will be able to teach you biology. And that right teacher will have a lot more knowledge than you, a lot more experience than you. And basis that you respect them and you take them as your teacher. So if you want to learn about spirituality, you want to learn about the divine, you would go to your guru who has more experience, has put in the hours to do the sadhana and has worked hard at it. And I don't think, firstly, for people to take spirituality as a serious subject itself,
Yeah.
I think it begins from there. So if you take that as a proper subject and a science in itself, and the ultimate science and subject in itself, then it'll be very easy for you to understand that for many other things, you go to a specialist or a specialized doctor for a certain, a doctor, every doctor who's done MBBS will know where your organs are and what can go wrong. But for a heart, you'll go to a heart specialist.
Yeah.
So for this, you go to a guru. For you to be able to learn from their experiences and emulate them, they have to be in a human form.
Yeah.
So this is wonderful. Like one of our teachers was explaining this. They said when the Brahman, which is where the sound and the Om exists in itself, the Shunya, where everything begins and kind of ends into. When Brahman wants to come closer to you, to humans, to you, they'll take the form of Ishvara. Ishvara will take the form of Bhagwan. Bhagwan, when they even want to be very close to you and they want to sit with you and they want to love you and they want to talk to you, they take the form of Guru and come in our midst. And I
beautiful.
think that's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel really sorry that a lot of young people believe in tarot and crystals and energy, but they want to keep it to energy because it kind of sounds safe,
Yeah.
modern. It's still not scientific, so to say, but they believe in that. But that's where it ends, and they want to discard people who actually spend their lifetimes dedicating it to this science and perfecting it and experiencing it firsthand.
Yeah, I agree. It saddens me too,
Yeah.
because I also it feels like dismissive and diminishing
Yeah.
something that is so magnificent, you know.
But aren't we lucky that we can just see it as something that doesn't need convincing? Like we've not had to be convinced, and I feel very lucky to I think Baba Ramdas has said this. He said that to even want to know God in your lifetime is a big achievement in itself. I don't know
Yes.
if Baba Ramdas or somebody else
And
has
many,
said
I
it.
think many gurus have said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
just that for me.
That
yeah.
awakening in and
Yeah,
of itself
the
is
curiosity,
a big deal.
yeah. To just
Yeah.
have that, to just have the thirst is
Mhm.
it's a privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to not have that when you're around a guru that is, you know, and I think people miss that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when I was around my guru, he's passed now, but Chitrabanuji, his just essence,
Yeah.
just you're just at peace in his
Absolutely.
essence, right? Who can you say that about
Yeah.
in this world? You can't.
Absolutely.
I can't say that about anybody else in this
Anybody.
world.
Yeah.
Just by being in his presence, you
Yeah.
just feel peace.
Yeah. In his eye line.
Yeah.
To have his eyes on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just always brings me to tears
Yeah.
because it feels just so, I feel so blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it saddens me because then people don't ever get to experience
Yeah, but people
that.
are not here to understand us or understand anything beyond what anything that makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. Okay. So then when you're talking about Sangha
Yeah.
and friends, how do you use your friendships? Like, and I don't mean it like in a transactional way, obviously,
Yeah.
but like, when do you feel like you go to them? Do you go to them a lot? Do you feel like you are all your versions of who you are with them? You know, do you reserve that for just your partner or, you know, maybe your parents?
I think different people serve different purposes in your life. There's somebody I'll go to when I'm feeling like I'll go to my older sister when I'm feeling really stressed about something, and she can just cut through my bullshit and say, "This is what you're stressed about." Why do you need to be? She can cut through my bullshit. My
Yeah.
mom will give me a spiritual insight to what I'm feeling, along with like love. And I'm very lucky to have been born into a family that actually has the same values and same curiosity for the spiritual
Yeah.
life. And my friends also, I go to each one of them for different things. It may sound transactional, but I think each one of them has a very specific, if I have to compare it to crystals, you pick up a different crystal for something else. Like, you would pick up the rose quartz for love and you would pick up something else for something, but they're really like that. And
Yeah.
I'm somebody who really likes my space. So I don't surround myself with people at all. If there is even like probably just this one podcast and I'll not want to see somebody for very, very, very long. I have to go to work, so that's a different thing. But ideally, I would take a whole rest day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I am. But
Do you call that introverted or what do you, or just I need space?
people who see me, they think I'm an extrovert. So I think I'm an ambivert.
Yeah.
But I strongly feel like an introvert. Like if today there was a party or a magazine party in the evening, my whole day would be stressed. Like I found out last Thursday that I had to go on Sunday for an event, and I actually felt my heart sink for the next 3 days. This is what I talk about. My wise self is like, what the hell is up with you?
You're like observing it and you're like
I'm just like, go finish it and come back. Like why make such a big deal out of it? But yeah, so we were talking about friendships. What were we talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about friendships.
Yeah, okay.
And everybody plays a different role.
They play different roles.
Yeah.
So, I like my space. My partner also likes his space. I love having him in my space. Luckily, he likes having me in his space.
Yeah.
So there, we don't really need space from each other. But we don't socialize too much. Our work we're with people all the time.
Yeah.
And I like to just probably come back and water my plants or watch my TV or read my Babysitter's Club.
Yeah.
And but my friends, if I'm feeling low, if I just need a recharge, we'll reach out to certain people. And I feel like we together have formed now a group of people who have become our common Sangha. It's not his friends and mine at all.
Oh, that's nice.
And not in an enmeshed way, but in a sangha way, that they are supporting our journey together.
Yeah, that's so special.
Yeah, it is.
Actually,
It
it's
is.
really, really special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even I feel like friendship is so important for relationships
Very important,
also.
yeah.
And it's true. Like there's, even my friends sometimes, like she'll come to me and, one of my things is like, I want to be like in friendship, I want to be all versions of myself as much as I am with my partner. So if the bitchy part of me comes out, I try to also do that with my friends.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just reserve it for my partner.
Yeah. But for me, I'm so reflective. I'm a complete mirror. I know it's not the best thing, but whoever I'm with, I can mirror their personality back to them like 100 on 100. So if I met a really like fun-loving, bitchy friend, I'll also be very catty with her. And if I met
part of you comes
if I
out.
met a very sober person, I'll also be very calm and sober. So people have seen very different sides of me, honestly, and all sides of true to me.
Yeah.
They all exist, and different people bring it out. I'm like moon energy through and through. I only reflect.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That means you just you get to explore so much.
Yeah, I do.
Because so many people are stuck to like an identity.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I would like to have a clear idea. Like, who am I today? I will never know.
No.
Because it depends on the people I will meet. It's like I'll be a shapeshifter through the day. Yeah.
But it's actually nice to hear, like even, when other people probably look at you and what you've created and the fame that you have. And then you're saying, I have this event and I'm already stressed about it 3 days later. Like you're human.
Yeah.
And I know that, but it's good for people to like connect with that also, you know, because it's not like you're sitting here just being like, oh yeah.
Absolutely. Like on certain podcasts, I find myself being really shut down. And on this podcast, I'm just like, ask me anything.
Yeah.
Some podcasts you're really on the watch of like, oh, I should probably not say this or not talk about my partner or not talk about this. But I'm finding it very easy to be that with you. And I think that has a lot to do with your energy and what you're bringing to this conversation. And I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that so much. Yeah. Oh, that means a lot. Now you threw me off my whole track.
There was a track? I felt like you were really going with the flow.
The mind track. Okay, well, I actually really wanted to also talk about your relationship with your karigars. Because when I heard you talking about that on one of the podcasts, I don't know, something struck me like deeply. Because I'm not a designer. I love fashion.
Yeah.
And I love your particular brand of fashion.
Thank you.
And what I like about it, I just want to actually share with you what it is. I'm sure you've heard this so many times, but I still want to share. It feels very fresh, and it feels, and like I lived in New York City for many, many years. I had many friends in the fashion industry, been to fashion shows, all the things. I'm very into it. And when I see your brand, it feels, yes, I'm sure the word vibrant always comes up, right, as the word, but it feels so joyful.
Yeah.
Is like what I feel from it. There's just like a playfulness, a joyfulness. And it what you just said around like you having moon through and through, like I just connected the dots of that in your brand too, because it does feel like there's these different personalities that
very different personalities
totally come out if you wear this piece versus this piece.
Absolutely.
And that's so cool.
That's wonderful so cool. How you describe that.
Yeah, it's so cool. Because I think if people could play with personalities within themselves way more, they would feel the expansiveness of their humanness.
I agree.
Their humanness. And I think it also is connected to divinity, because then you're not stuck to anyone, anything.
I would die if I felt stuck.
Yeah.
I would die.
Yeah. I know. I'm
as much as I want that groundedness and who am I and just be like connected. But I just actually like I like that I don't know who I'm going to be. Like I like to say predictably unpredictable.
Yes.
Is how I describe myself.
Is that hard in your relationship for Herschel?
No, times? Even he's like that.
Oh, good. Okay.
There's
sometimes it can be hard, so that's nice.
Yeah, and it was a journey us finding each other.
Yeah.
And the more I discovered him, I was like, "What? Are you for real? Like really? You also like that? Like really?"
Yeah.
And it's actually just so soothing to find somebody who is not judging you for being that, but can also be a part of it. And it's very interesting because both of us really like routine. We really like our days being planned, systematic, and stuff like that. But within that, we could be many different versions of ourselves. And
Yeah.
that's fun
Yeah, it's
to
so
be.
fun. It makes you feel alive in
Yeah,
life. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I was asking you about your karigars. So
Good you remembered.
yeah, I was like, oh, I remembered.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you were talking about how you literally described it like this, you're like, we take a piece and you take a bead and you're like green or pink,
Yeah.
green or pink, green or pink, and you do it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And there's two things that I have around this. Okay, one being the lost art of like discipline. Like discipline when you even described how the karigars have to just,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. When you said that, I was just like, what? So my mom is a classical Indian singer.
Oh, wow.
And even, in that, there's so much discipline.
Absolutely.
Right? And I feel like that discipline, like where has that gone?
I think more than discipline, it's patience.
But you also have to correct your mind so many times to just keep.
Yeah, but for a lot of my karigars, if you were to talk about the backgrounds that they come from, they didn't really have so many options and opportunities, right?
Yeah.
So they actually grow up in like large groups or villages or small towns where the entire town used to perform this one certain activity.
Right.
Based on geography, Lucknow, so there's been a lot of Mughal rule there, a lot of conquests happened there, a lot of cross cultural exposure they've had there. So embroideries have actually come into India from the Mughals, right?
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
It's from
So
the
when we
Mughals.
talk about fabrics, when we talk about our weaves, when we talk about textile, that's very Indian.
Yeah.
But the art of embroidery has come from
Mughals. Oh,
yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
that is why you would understand why Lucknow is one of the places where a lot of them come from. And this art was really one of the only things that they did there. If you've noticed, and I feel like especially with to do with arts, whether to do with music, kavalis, or even when you look at the Taj Mahal being built, or when you talk about embroideries, there is a beautiful refinement and a very natural ability to create things of beauty when you talk about the Muslims.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
do
the
it.
arts are
They
through
do
and
it
through.
wonderfully. And so a lot
Even
of them,
classical Indian music. Huge.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they've actually come from a lot of them have mostly come from Lucknow. They all know each other. They've learnt under the same gurus and ustads. And it's their stories are very, very sweet because parents would just send them go and learn and find your guru. There were no schools or institutions, and that time it was a very how the Gurukul system used to be, where you go find and you have to really convince and cajole a guru to take you in under their wing and to teach them the arts. You never paid the ustad. You never paid the guru.
Yeah.
But they taught you because that was just them passing on the art from one generation to the other. So that was their responsibility to do that. A lot of them are migrated from the same towns and same places, and
Yeah.
they've come to Bombay
Yeah.
because now there aren't any palaces and Mughal emperors or anybody to house these wonderful artists in their palaces to make things of beauty. The golden age is far from where we sit today.
Yeah.
So now they have to use it to just make money and earn a livelihood. And because they've not been taught in any kind of worldly way, like they don't know math, they don't know English, they don't know Hindi, they don't know how to write even their own mother tongue.
Yeah.
Because they have no other option is why they're doing it.
Yeah. Got it.
And now when you ask them that would you put your next generations in it, for the people who have the option to do it, like the children would have the option to do it because a lot of them are sending their kids to school. They say no. Nobody wants to do it out of choice. The
Yeah.
dignity has gone from the work.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
that's
So
sad
at
to
that
see.
time, one, they didn't have an option
Yeah.
to pick any other stream.
So it was just they had to do it.
Yeah. And the second is that there was a lot of patience.
I feel like, is it more than patience? I don't know, because even
I think it's also sincerity to whatever you do and to be able to commit yourself to whatever you do.
Yeah. It's like it's a devotion,
It's a devotion.
right? Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
devotion.
But are they doing it devotionally now? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you've
They
kind
feel
of,
forced, right?
yeah, you've kind
Sort
of
of.
not forced, but they feel not even helpless, but they don't have too many options.
Yeah.
It's
So
more survival.
yeah. Yeah. Do they know how beautiful what they know is? Do they know that, or do they not
So,
know?
I was listening to this podcast of this girl who escaped North Korea and she went away to the US. She was rescued and she's now been given a home there. And she said, the government there used to keep us hungry and they would just, when they did want to feed us, they would give us potatoes and hot water or something like that.
Yeah.
And they would make it a point to consistently keep us hungry so that our minds would remain stuck in survival. Because all this talk of art and literature and history is that we didn't even know geography. We thought this is it, like this land is it. We didn't know there was a world outside of it. Because all those things are for higher thinking.
Yeah.
And higher thinking can only happen when your basic needs are met,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
It's like Maslow's hierarchy. So they are right now, if you are working because you need to survive and your family is surviving on it, then I don't think there is so much room to really sit and ponder and debate. You just do.
Yeah. It's sort of, even as I'm even asking the question, it sort of feels like an entitled question.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
an entitled question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. And what I also connected with is just your passion to keep skills alive. And what makes you feel so connected to that? Other than I know
think I'm
it's
very
part of your
lucky
business.
that I get to work beside them every single day. Because I live in India.
Yeah.
And because I'm not outsourcing my work, it's all happening under one roof where I'm sitting every day.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting next to them, you're having conversations with them continuously. They are really, truly your collaborators because you're like, is this looking good? Do you like this? Do you not like that? They're sharing their stories. You can actually make out who the really, really not efficient, the talented guys are. And then if you actually find out their history, they've actually learned under the same ustad. So you can then identify the school that they've come from. He was truly an exceptional ustad because you can make out in a group of like 100 karigars also who the good ones are, and it's very, very interesting to see how we both studied together.
That's so
So
interesting.
whenever you take interest in somebody's life, they become a part of you. Their story becomes a part of you. And when their story becomes a part of you, you can't just shake it off. It lives inside of you. And then when it lives inside of you, and not in a sad way, but in an interesting way, I am right now a product of so many stories living inside of me right now. Um, which is the importance of Sangha, who you surround yourself with, because you become a sum total of all those things. When you become a part of their stories and they become a part of yours, and when you see them creating things of beauty, and you can wonder on their behalf that why would you not want your children to know this?
Yeah.
And then when a very simple answer is कि अब इज्जत नहीं है इसमें or dignity is not there, then you instantly feel responsible because you are somebody who is in a position of power and you can do something about it. And that is a part of Artha, that I am making the money, my business is working to make the money so that it can pay it forward at some point. Once I have made it a profitable business and I am able to sustain it, then it is only my duty and nothing else
Yeah.
to do right by them and by the art that has sustained me and has
Yeah.
made me profitable.
Yeah.
So it is just more realizing the interdependence of everything, that I cannot exist, function, or be successful in isolation ever. And it is not even to say that I owe them. I don't owe them. We're all interdependent. They're dependent on me. I'm dependent on them.
Yeah.
And so when you respect that whole, like you need the rain for the grain to grow and the grain so that we can feed and we can grow. And it's simply that cycle that continuously goes on day after day. You have to respect that. And you have to keep that going, and you have to keep feeding that, and you have to make sure that the loop doesn't break in the middle of the chain.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so beautiful that you see it that way. I think like it's also, I feel similarly, you know, that when you actually take in the whole ecosystem of what is happening and have reverence for every aspect of it, then you also feel a part of that ecosystem. And then there's just so much beauty in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the fact that you also feel not responsible, but also a little bit of this connection to keep it going is, I think, beautiful.
But also responsible.
It is responsible.
Because I'm in a position of power.
Yeah.
I have the ability to step out of their survival mode and contemplate on their behalf and, wish for a better future.
Yeah. So when you tell them like, oh, you should pass this on. I know they say there's no dignity, but then do they come around or?
No, I can't actually tell them.
You can't.
Until I have made some kind of provision to assist them in making that possible.
Yeah.
Which is why my ultimate dream is to have the Karigar Academy, where I can create a space or a platform to say, okay, hey, bring your kid in.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure that he's taken care of and he learns the worldly ways and is educated in a worldly way also, while also learning the skill.
Yeah.
So that whatever he chooses next is out of choice and not out of need.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Even my questions, as I'm even asking you some of this, I'm like watching myself because I do the same thing. And I'm just like, oh gosh, your questions right now sound so like ignorant.
They're not ignorant.
Not ignorant,
curious,
but it's, I say it in the nicest way.
Yeah.
Meaning like there's so much depth to what you're describing and there's so much distance that I have from that, And so like, it's just, it's nice to come to that, to that,
No, but I appreciate your curiosity because a lot of times when I'm asked this question, it's from a very like, then why are designers not paying them enough? And then why are, like as if there is, it's black and white and there's one simple answer to it, but there never is one simple answer to anything. And to anything that you want to do well and you want to do it as that you want to give a solution which is more sustainable long term, it's never going to be a black and white answer. But people seek that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I got out of our conversation in so many ways is like you're very much, in my eyes, a conscious business owner, leader. And I think we need more conscious business owners and leaders.
It's happening.
Yeah. And so what is an intention that you are now setting or living into for your work?
I definitely want to see it grow.
Yeah.
When I go to work every day, I have like this very small little altar that I've created where I light a small diya and I say that any activity that I do today or any work that I do today here should be so that everybody who this work is sustaining should prosper, be healthy, and their family should, prosper. So when you offer yourself as an instrument, to be able to offer myself more and more as a cleaner instrument and a more capable and a potent instrument is actually my hope.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Your questions were really, really lovely and your energy has been phenomenal.
Oh, good.
Really is one of the very few podcasts that I've really enjoyed. I was discussing it with Harshita. I was like, I don't know why I'm doing podcasts. I have nothing to say. I don't feel like saying anything. But this actually felt so good. I didn't even realize when we went through 1 hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, me neither. No, the same. I think like, you do a lot of work to cultivate that energy also, you know what I mean? Like, so I just appreciate you trusting me
of course.
to be here and to have this conversation. Yeah.
Okay, I wish you all the best.
Yeah, thanks.
And can't wait for your season to drop.
Yeah, it's going to drop December 30th.
What's it called?
Desi Wisdom.
Desi Wisdom. Mm-hmm. Okay, nice.
Yeah. The premise of it is to support Desis in coming back to our cultural and spiritual roots. So the mission of it is one is that. One is also to claim some of our, if there are non-Desis watching, which I'm sure there will be because I also have a big following in that way, that they understand what they're consuming that is ours, where that comes from. And where that comes from.
Hope that they can understand that. But
and not just, and actually did want to talk to you about the stealing of in fashion, stealing of our patterns, our brands, our.
You can't do anything about that.
I know. So I was like,
it's the way of the world.
It's the way of the world. But yeah, that is also the intention, because in self-development and self-healing, in the West, there's just so much taken from us and never really fully understood.
But the thing is that it became cool to do mantra meditation, do yog nidra, turmeric milk, yoga in itself. It became cool once the West said it was cool.
I know.
So even though they are appropriating, which is honestly incorrect without giving credit,
wake up.
But unfortunately, we also need to check ourselves to say that we are also waiting for them to give a stamp of validation, no?
Yeah.
Like, why do you fuss so much about Prada Kolhapuris? Like, were you ready to pay your karigar who you are fighting for now, who makes Kolhapuri chappals? Were you willing to support them and buy it till Prada didn't make it cool? You weren't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't really
That is so interesting. That's true, right? Because people would see that and just be like, it's just a champal.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now what are you getting upset about?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I say. People look at me
that is
and
a good
like,
point. I haven't taken that perspective.
No, that is true that they are appropriate.
No, I know.
But
what
I'm
you're
saying that it is also true that we are not appreciating.
We have responsibility of it too.
Let's just love the hell out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we adapting the ideas of the West to say everything to do with spirituality that has a slight coloring of religion on it is primitive?
Yes.
And it's dystopian almost to go back to that.
Yes.
Why don't we think for ourselves? Why don't we experience for ourselves? Why is yoga cool now? It's so much a part of our Vedic Shastras. Yoga is so inherently a part of it.
It's the beginning of it.
Why do you look down on homeopaths? Why do you look down on Reiki? Why did you do all that before it became cool? When people started calling it box breathing and people started calling it like energy healing, and then it became
breath
cool.
work even.
Yeah, yeah. So you can't. We are not in a position to judge because we've not done right by our arts and our scriptures and our like wealth of wisdom that is in this country. So first let us do that and get really loud about it instead of saying like, Prada, how could you? What are you doing to help the poor karigars? And you can turn around and tell me that as a designer, why don't you then pay your karigars more money? And I'm just going to ask you then, are you going to then pay for how much that would cost for a lehenga? Are you willing to pay that much more for the karigar to get that? Even if I were to say, okay, 90% of it I'll give to the karigar, but you will still not be ready to pay a higher sum.
Because of the mentality. But also because of the
mentality,
position.
Yeah, exactly. And also reality that India also is only just coming out of survival mode.
Yeah.
So it's always a loop.
Yeah.
But at least people like you and me, when we criticize the West for appropriating, while we must do that, we must also turn the lens on ourselves that are we doing justice?
So my question to that is, but there's a part of me that blames colonization for the fact that we are like this.
Yeah.
Right? Because they instilled into us that what we know, what we believe is wrong.
Absolutely.
And what they do, how they do it is right.
Absolutely.
And so it's now with 200 years of that. I don't mean to make us the victim of that either, but because I think you're bringing to light something that is important to also consider and take in. But it's also true that we've been brainwashed.
Yeah.
To thinking what we know is nothing compared to what the West knows or what, Europeans know.
But the only checkpoint there is for me that whenever I'm feeling very strongly about an external issue, I need to also look internally and see, right? Like you have to address both sides of it.
You do.
If we had claimed it so loudly that it's Kolhapuri is what us Indians wear.
Yeah.
That there's no way that they could come in and say that, it's a cool design, so we're taking it. And that's why I don't blame Indians. I don't blame us. While you say we aren't really victims, we were victims of that also. But now at least people in positions where talk about journalism, talk about when like influencers who are commenting, who have the power to comment on it on social media, we have a responsibility to also say that make in India and made in India and wear in India and be proud of India
Proud.
is very important.
Yeah. I'll say, as being born in the US, anytime anything was made in India, I was so proud.
I don't know. I mean, we look down on it.
Yeah.
And why would you be okay to pay for Chanel, for a Chanel bag, which is like basic in design? Very sorry to say, but extremely basic. What people call classic. It's a classic, hence it's basic. You're paying so many lakhs of rupees, but you don't want to pay the same amount for an Indian brand. You just don't, because it's not going to scream Chanel and it's not going to give you that elevation in society and your friends that you want. So I think that that problem exists, and we have to take responsibility for being a part of that.
Yeah. And I think it's such a good point. You have to be proud of what's local.
Get loud.
Invest in what's local.
Yeah.
So that we can grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can grow.
People
It's true.
compare us to a Chanel. I mean, Chanel is, I don't know how many centuries old of a brand. It's got so many years, like centuries of legacy attached to it.
Yeah.
And you compare it to an Indian fashion industry, which is like technically our oldest designer, when we could actually call them a fashion designer. Before that, it was just boutiques and tailors. Is like 40 years old or 35 years old
Yeah.
in the business. So it's not a fair comparison.
No.
And this is the time to invest in India and Indian designers and Indian artists, and the wonderful art that is coming out of India. I went to Art Mumbai, and the painters, the interior designers, the furniture that's coming out of it, not just fashion. This is the time to go all in. And then you can point your fingers to the West and say, hey, but you can't do that. We won't allow it.
I really like this perspective. It's spot on. It's spot on. Yeah. And our art is extraordinary. I feel like, I mean, all the paintings that I buy from here in my home there. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, so even when I travel abroad, when I do my pop-ups there, the people that I meet there are a lot more appreciative of the karigari and of the work than Indians here.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
I feel, I know that is sad. That is
Like
sad.
the
I feel
same
so
kind of
proud.
clients.
I feel so proud
Yeah.
investing in my people.
Yeah.
Like
when I actually travel there, I feel like, oh, I am a designer. Oh, wonderful. And here I'm just like, people will be saying, no, but change the blue color, but change the pink, and I don't want to wear this, and can you actually make it in a different color? And like all my designing goes out the window because they know better. So there is this really wonderful book written by two Germans. It's called The Luxury Strategy. Their names are very tough to pronounce. But they say the reason why only in India, where we actually were probably one of the first civilizations to create pieces of luxury, are not seen anywhere on the map when it comes to global luxury. And the reason is because the artist or the artisan has not been elevated to the position of the, like, for example, you'll go to Italy and you'll be like, okay, that Italian shoemaker who sits in a really small boutique shop will tell you this is what is in trend, and you will really put that person on a pedestal and their perspective on a pedestal. But the same respect is not given to our artists when we also talk about our karigars. Like, they're at the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah.
No, because we've not elevated the artist.
It's respect.
Yeah. We are not going to be seen as a global luxury. We are not going to see an Indian luxury brand becoming global very easily.
Yeah. That's a good thing to shout.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely include it because...
Yeah. And I think it has to start with us. We have to elevate that, the karigar.
Yeah.
We have to give them the dignity.
Yeah.
We have to say, Arey, but if you've made it by hand, you should actually price it at 10 times
they're
more.
taking it for granted?
Of course.
Yeah. Because I mean, because I was in the US and born in the US, I see it and I'm just taken by it.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a... taken for granted.
For sure. Yeah.
Thing happening.
Too much access.
Yeah. But you're right. No matter what, you still have to be proud.
Yeah.
You still have to appreciate where it's coming from. You have to appreciate our culture and what it's creating.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope you love this episode of Desi Wisdom. Please leave a comment below telling me if you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you would have wanted more of. It really helps me refine this podcast to give you exactly what you want. I will be reading every comment and responding. Also, I know this is the last thing that you're going to want to be doing, but if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. When you hit that subscribe button, you'll be notified of the episodes that come out every single Tuesday. So hit that subscribe button. And if you're ready to binge another episode of Desi Wisdom, take a look at this one. It's a good one.